What's up, everybody, and welcome to Week 17 Rock'em Sock'em Power Rankings. Happy holidays to everybody out there. Today, I am Sean Trader Clements with my co-host Scott from the Hurry Up Fitzgerald. How are you today, Scott? How have your holidays been?
Holiday's been great. Family's been in town. Things are going great. Fantasy, not so good.
Yeah, tell me about it. If you want to talk about a horrible Week 16, 15 teams in the playoffs went 4-11 this week. That's right, 4-11 for a whopping, like, what is that, a 1/3 win rate or something ridiculous like that? I mean, if I was a kicker, I'd be fired. If I was a quarterback, I'd be benched. It was one of those weeks for me in fantasy. I couldn't win if my life depended on it. I hope you had a little bit better of a scenario than that, but I mean it's hard to get worse.
That's the bad thing about later in the season when teams are eliminated. NFL teams are eliminated. You build a fantasy monster. You get the 1 seed, the 2 seed, you get a bye, and then now you're playing the semis. You just got to win one game to get in the finals, and Rashee Rice doesn't play. St. Brown, he's not in the end zone. Woody Marks, late scratch.
Oh, don't forget the apple of my eye, Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Giving me a whopping like 7 points.
Yeah, it's
Why,
frustrating,
Josh?
but that's fantasy, and you just have to. Some years it's going to go your way, some years it's not. But yeah, it's the year of the 5 and 6 seed this year. The year of the 5 and 6 seeds that make it through.
A lot of leagues too. It's weird, but a lot of leagues happen that like the 1 and the 2 seeds got knocked out, and like the 5 and 6 seeds are in there. I have one league where a guy made the playoffs in the 6 seed at like a 5 and 8 record or something, and he was a few points away from making it to the finals. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it.
But you know what? We can't be sourpusses about it because there are people out there that are winning, so we should give them their props.
Good luck.
I give them props because you know what? That tells you one thing. You never quit in fantasy. Never throw in the towel. Work the waiver wire. Work trades.
This was the year, man. You could win leagues this year easily with some good waiver wire pickups. Guys like Michael Wilson and so on have been just like dominant for you down the stretch. So we're like the Colts. Our fantasy year across the board, basically. If you were winning early in the season, you're kicking your butts kicked now. So it's just pretty much like a flip flop. Speaking of flip flopping, man, you want to talk about some movement? I don't know about you, man, but there's a lot of movement on my side of the board this week in the power rankings.
Yeah, there's a little bit here on my end too, especially in the middle tier. The middle tier, that 4 through 7 range, was a little bit of jumbling around there.
Yeah,
there were some big games this week that didn't go as I thought they were going to go.
Yeah, right. I would say both of the 2 biggest games this week didn't go anywhere near what I thought they were going to do, and it rocked my power rankings world. It looks like my power rankings were literally just like thrown into a bag and shook up real quick and then just put back on the board, because it's really different than it was last week. That's for sure. So last week's power rankings, I started out Rams at the top, Broncos, Seahawks, Texans, Bills rounding out my top 5. Starting at 6 with the Patriots, the Bears were 7, Niners were 8, Packers were 9, and Jaguars were 10. Scott, what did you have going on last week?
I had Rams, Patriots, Broncos, Seahawks, Texans in the top 5, and then rounded off with Packers, Bears, Bills, Niners, and Jags sneaking in the top 10.
So let's start out with our 6 through 10s. 6 through 10 for me, I've got the Broncos sitting at 6 after that loss to the Jaguars. Patriots are down there at 7, right where I think they should be. Niners are following them up at 8, followed by Chargers at 9, sneaking their way back up into those top 10. And then the Bears down there at number 10. Is there anything that you want to talk about on my list, Scotty, before we go to yours? I'm sure you're going to be upset about one specific team.
We won't get into that yet. But no, you know what? I think you're a little lower on the Bears. I think I'm buying in on the Bears. I like Ben Johnson a lot. I think, and I've said this even last year, I think the Lions got rid of the wrong coach. And it's playing out that way because Ben Johnson is running the ball down your throat. Caleb Williams is finally developing, and they're winning games that we're saying they're not supposed to win. So he's got him in, definitely going to be making the playoffs, and the Lions are not going to be making the playoffs. So I think the Bears are a tad low right there, but I don't even know what word is I can even come up with the Patriots being at number 7. I mean, I just can't
Is
figure out how you can.
atrocity, is that the word you're looking for, Scott?
It's atrocious that you have the Patriots at number 7.
Hey man, I think when you gotta come in here and beat some winning teams. I mean, they nearly lost. If Lamar didn't get hurt, they lose that game. Like bottom line.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah,
Here, no, I don't want to hear if.
I mean, what do you mean? If obviously, if one of the best players in the league doesn't finish the game, it makes a difference. Come on, be the same thing if they lost to Drake May, and you'd be like, oh, if Drake May had to finish a game, it's the same concept, man.
Oh God!
I mean, let's talk about your 6 through 10 here, buddy. All right, why don't you go down your list so that we can start tearing you apart?
Well, I dropped the Broncos out of the top 5. So, and then the Bears, I got them right there. I wanted to move them up a little bit more, but I want to see just a tad more. Like I said, I can't put them past the Broncos. I think the Bills are right there at 8. I mean, the Bills, until they show me they can stop the run and have a legitimate wide receiver 1. I mean, Josh Allen cannot do everything, and James Cook's helped him tremendously this year, but their defense is very suspect. And for me, a playoff team is, I mean, if you want to be an upper echelon team, and I'll explain this later when I go into my top 5, you need to be a really good defense. Defense wins championships. Everyone knows that. And everyone knows you can run on the Bills. So if they get matched up against a team that can run the ball, it's going to be a difficult matchup for them. And you can't put everything on Josh Allen. And then I finally snuck the Chargers back in there. That probably should have happened last week, but got him in this week.
You don't want to mention that you have the Niners at 9 at all? You're just going to gloss right on over that one?
I mean, you have them at 8. I mean, it's not that big.
Well, you still got to tell everybody they're on your list. I mean, good Lord, man.
Well, the Niners at 9. Niners at 9.
The poor kid. That's like the kid in line that just like, you.
Yeah, I think I had them there last week too, so they didn't really change, and they are trending. So they are trending upwards. So that they might not be in that spot next week.
I don't like the Bills being that low. Obviously, I'm a lot higher on them than you are, but we'll talk about that a little more when it comes up on my rankings. Because as you can see, they are still not on the board yet, and it's not because they are out of the top 10. I'll tell you that right now. Spoiler alert. Texans at 5 for me and Jags at 5 for you. Look at that. Same division, different teams. Scotty, man. Jags at 5. After that big win, you only moved them up to 5?
I mean, they went from 10 to 5. I mean, I'm not going to do what you do and just skyrocket everybody when they're out all the way up to number 1. Or, I mean, the movement that you have is it's amazing how teams can just bypass everyone else that's had a solid year the whole year. They just catapult ahead of them. It's just amazing how this happens.
Hey, baby, this is the end of the season, man. You can't hold anything back now.
Like nothing happened. Like Sean doesn't care what you did. Like the first, like 7 weeks before that, if you're good, but if you just slip up one time, you're done.
Absolutely. It's that time of year, baby. Everybody's on thin ice.
Jeez.
I mean, I'm just saying, brother. I think the Jaguars are coming out and they're proving that they deserve to be, a higher, than number 5. Honestly, the Texans I think are good where they're at number 5. Right, that's where you had them last week. I'm not sure where you got them this week yet, but sitting there at number 5, I feel like is the right spot for them. Let's go look at number 4. Oh, look at that. We just flip-flopped them there. A little hopscotch. All right. So Jags, Texans. We just talked about these teams, so we're not going to go into it any farther. I get we could both have them right. I don't think there's any argument that either of us are going to have against each other's rankings at that point. So we'll stick with the 4 and 5 swap like we have, and look at number 3 here. Oh my Lanta! What a discussion we are going to have now. Look at that. Scott's got him at Patriots at 3 still, and I got my baby Bills all the way up there at number 3. Because you know why, Scott? Do you know why? Josh Allen can do everything, and he will do everything. This team is reminding me a lot of a team a few years back that came in as a wild card and made a playoff run through the entire NFL, winning a Super Bowl. I think the Bills have it in them to do that. There's nobody in the AFC that scares me to the point that I think that they are 100% going to lose that game if they play them in the playoffs. So I think the Bills have what it takes. They belong to be up at number 3 because they have the number 1 quarterback.
No, I mean, the Bills are definitely a playoff team. They're very good. Love Josh Allen. But if you look at all those teams below them, they can all run the ball. And you get matched up against any of them teams, they know what the formula is to beat the Bills. You run the ball. And if you lose to the Bills, it's because you didn't run the ball and you didn't control the clock and you didn't keep the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. So if you do that, shame on you. You deserve to lose to the Bills. So that's all I'm saying is, do I think the Bills are a little flawed? Yes, on defense. And I'm going to lean towards the teams that play better defense. And I like the Texans. That's why I have them in the top 4. Their defense is tremendous. They've won 7 in a row. They're 8-2 in the conference and 5-0 against quality teams. So they're definitely trending upward. As far as the Patriots, I mean, yeah, they, had a little bump in the road, but I still think they're a damn good football team. I mean, they've been there the whole year. And, like I said, we may have the Bills going to the Patriots again in the playoffs this year, and we'll see what happens.
The same thing that happened last time the Bills went to New England. I'm just going to say it right now. It's going to be a Bills win, and we're going to move on, and they're not. Well, Patriots are going to be a one-and-done team this year, and that's all there is to that.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, the Patriots did have that game in the bag, and they kind of like laid down a little bit.
Yeah, you know why? Because they weren't playing a scrub squad for the first time in 10 weeks.
We will see. We will see. It'd be interesting where these playoffs are going to get matched up in the bracket.
Absolutely, it will. I cannot wait. Let's go to 2-1. I have a feeling that our 2-1 is going to be a little anticlimactic this week. I mean, it's going to be obvious, right? Let's go ahead and move into 2 and see where we're at. We've got the Rams, both of us. I figured we would. It sounds like this is basically going to be the matchup to look for in the Super Bowl or in the NFC Championship game, in my opinion. I think both these two teams are going to make it to the championship game on that side of the board. Obviously we know who our one team is going to be here, but we'll wait for a second to talk about them. I think this team, even though they haven't played the greatest football the last few weeks, they've got Devontae out. I do think he'd come back for a playoff game. I really think that they are the best team in the NFC still, even though they lost to the Seahawks. It took a lot for the Seahawks to beat them. And, we all know the Rams did play their best game. So I think the Rams are still, in my opinion, the best team. I just can't have them at 1 because the Seahawks just beat them.
I'm going to talk about both the teams at the same time. So go ahead and put the number 1s up there. Everyone knows they're the Hawks. Too bad these teams are in the same conference because this would be a great Super Bowl. Their points for Hawks 443, Rams 557. That's pretty close. Their defensive points that they've given up, 279 for the Hawks, 299 for the Rams. Stellar defenses. And check this out. They are both exactly 164 on point differential. So they are monster teams. They play good in the conference, and they play good against quality football teams. These are the 2 best teams in football right now. And we saw it on Thursday night. That was an epic battle. And I would love to see this happen again in the NFC Championship. So these are my top 2 teams, Sean's top 2 teams. These are the best 2 teams.
There's nobody else that's really proven that they deserve to be up there. So right now, those teams are firmly planted at 1 and 2. And I think there's a decent gap after the 2 before you get to 3.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think and that was just, talk about a game on Thursday night. I hope these teams both these teams make it to the championship game. So it'll be another epic battle.
Yeah, me too. Our friend from FanCat, Armin, he was sitting really close to the end zone that finished out with that 2-point conversion to win, and he was going insane. And there's a video that he posted on there on his YouTube channel. Go check out Fancred's YouTube channel if you want to see it. And it's pretty awesome, man, the way these guys are celebrating, because it just made me feel like, you know, what it's like when I'm sitting in Bill's Stadium and they go crazy for a win like that last second. It's just the type of energy that you get from your fellow fans having the same reactions you are. It's pretty epic. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining us for Power Rankings. If you haven't already, please go like and subscribe to the channel. We really need you guys to do that. That's how we're going to be able to do everything that we're doing for you guys this season. Keep an ear out for us. We're going to be launching a lot of stuff here after the new year. We got some really great things coming. Our first show back on our live episode is going to be an epic one. So make sure you get the notification bell and get a notification for when that drops. It's going to be one you want to watch. Thank you so much, guys. Again, have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year out there. We are out of here.